Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inner Sanctum YouTube channel. My name is Anthony Alesiani, and today we're going to be talking about the F1 2023 Formula One calendar. It's going to be a massive year for races in Formula One. They've announced the calendar and the dates for the new season coming up after what's been a pretty hectic 2022 season, and the inevitable Max Verstappen is going to be winning the championship this year, it seems. But looking forward ahead to 2023 with the new calendar prevailing, there's a lot of interesting things to take out of this one. So I'm going to run through exactly why this new calendar has such controversy around it and why 2023 will be the biggest Formula One year yet. I'll ask the question, is 24 races on an F1 calendar too much? There's 52 weeks in a year. You say 24 races in a season, they have a month break in between in August. There was also 3 months between the season, ending in December and coming back in March. So 4 months even. So you have 5 months where you effectively don't go racing, which means you've got 6 other months where you're pretty much racing side by side, or 7 months in fact, side by side races back to back to back, or double headers, triple headers, quadruple headers. I think there is in one stage in the new year. Is it too much for Formula One? That is the question. I think overall we love to see racing. We love to see big moments in races, and there's been a lot to unpack over the last few years in Formula One with the pandemic, exciting racing, one of the best championships you'll ever see in 2021 with Verstappen versus Hamilton and Verstappen prevailing. You look at 2022 so far with the new regulations. Have they worked out? We're going to new tracks next year. With Las Vegas going to be new. We've seen old ones be re-signed, with Spa coming back in 2023. Monaco is going to be re-signed to 2025. Qatar and China are returning to the calendar as well. So much to unpack and so much to throw into a season that has a lot of question marks around it, considering, with the new track Las Vegas, it's a very bland track in my opinion with the layout. And it's going to be very exciting because it's the first ever Formula One race that's going to be held on a Saturday since I think the early 60s. This is so much to prevail in a season that I think it's too much on the teams. I might be a personal opinion. I love Formula One. I love watching it every first or second or third week. It's a great sport. It's such a spectacle. It's the pinnacle of motorsport. But you're going to be traveling on end to different parts of the world, and you look at in particular the last 2 races, Las Vegas, Abu Dhabi. They're looking at controlling and making sure that we're reducing travel and carbon used in the world with traveling expenses, and the way they're trying to be energy efficient in Formula One by 2030. Las Vegas and Abu Dhabi are literally the opposite sides of the world, and that's the last 2 rounds of the year. It has a lot of question marks around it, I feel, about why Formula One are doing this. And I look at this stat in particular: 133,570 kilometers are traveled without returning home. That's just without returning home for a winter break or for a 2-week break in between races. That's just not enough break time for the teams and for the support staff, and drivers don't even get to see their families. They're on the road majority of the time of the year, and I think there's 2 triple headers, there's 3 double headers. There's no space, there's no relaxation between races, and I think this is going to cause a massive strain on teams for costs. Obviously, there's going to be loads of crashes throughout the year, loads of problems with engines, and regulations are going to come into effect. Do F1 change the regulations to reduce the amount of strain that are on these teams and on these cars? Because there's so many penalties that have been given out, and there's still 7 races to go in 2022. Like, there's teams that are basically throwing away a race just so they don't have to struggle in the next few. And that's not what we want for Formula One. And whilst the spectacle is a lot different, and it's a lot more exciting these days than it used to be in the late 2010s, I still believe that Formula One is not quite at the aspect where 24 races in a season is enjoyable. It's too much, and that's going to cause a lot of pain on the drivers. And yeah, it's a strange thing as well, because when When Formula One used to be back in the early 2000s, there were 16 races in a year. We'd be racing every second week. We'd have a 4-month break in between the last race and the first race for the new year. And everyone was saying, that's perfect. Nowadays, like 24 races, that's eight extra races in a year. We don't even have special tracks like Hockenheim on the Nürburgring. We don't have Instant Ball. We've given away tracks that are so special to a lot of diehard F1 fans, and we're replacing them with, I will say, a little bit of cash grabs as such, exposure into countries that have a little bit more money. I'm talking Saudi Arabia, I'm talking Bahrain, I'm talking Qatar, I'm talking Las Vegas now. It's not what Formula One is all about. It's all about, history and respecting what happened before. And as you look to the future and you want to create a new picture for new drivers and new fans that are coming into the sport. We've seen that with the games itself, F1 2022, F1 Manager as well. They have such a exposure to new people to bring into the sport. And that is very successful, great marketing. But I just don't feel like you're going to countries where motorsport is really felt in the heart. It's more felt on your eyes with money. Has Formula One got it wrong in 2023 with 24 races on the calendar? I say yes. March 5th to November 26th to fit in 24 races in that time period. It's hectic. It's going to be a massive season, and it gives drivers a lot more opportunities in Formula One to really prove themselves. Yes, there's going to be more opportunities to win a championship, constructors championships, but is it worth 24 races? Is it worth the cost of crashes, flights, different parts coming in, new models, different structures and marketing experts? It's just going to be, I think it's too much for Formula One. And to not even start in Australia, starting in Bahrain is a little bit, I'm being a bit biased here, but I don't like that. I think starting in somewhere like Australia is really where you want to be. You want to start at a track, massive crowds, massive spectacle. It's a good racetrack. Bahrain seems to be one that doesn't quite pull its punch as much as we'd like for an opening race. And I think having that tradition and having the sense of occasion is what Formula One need to focus on coming into when they reveal calendars or when they go into circuits. And I think it'll be looked at a lot further deeper over the years to come to compact races for travel and save travel. And so we're going to have a European section of the calendar, an Asian section of the calendar. We're going to go to African, or it's just different continents at different times. I think might be the way to go, but 24 races is too much. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, F1 fans, Sanctum fans. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more content around sport in general. Check out our website as well, innersanctum.com.au, to read about more articles on different sports and get exposed to our up-and-coming journalists that are such fantastic talents, and get into different content that you'd normally see, because that's what this Sanctum is all about. Thank you for watching. My name is Anthony, and we'll see you next time.